Brothers, welcome to today's video. I just want to start by saying thank you to those of late that have left comments on videos and asked questions. I try to get round to them every few days. I'll allocate a set time, and I was going to wait till tomorrow morning to respond to them, but I actually thought, you know what? It's been a month, and it's nice every month just to review all the comments because there's a lot of actual questions in there, as well as people leaving either some good, honest comments or a bit of hate speech as well, which is absolutely fine as well. You're entitled to your opinions on the tube. So I will respond to the comments now and answer those that may be of value to the rest of the audience, not the ones that are people that are me trumping my own horn. We're not about that here. So let's go down to one here. So this guy actually had commented a while ago, and he mentioned his situation, which is quite. It was quite a good one to see. So he said he was starting at 202 pounds, guessing he's across the pond in America or maybe Canada, and he was 245 at his heaviest. 59, probably 30% body fat-ish. I said, keep me updated on how he goes across his journey. Really good that he's dropped 10 pounds, sitting at 192. And then he's responded here. Now at 182, your advice, not play any cards all at once has made it able. And what he means by this is, when I say don't play all your cards at once, don't go too low with your food and don't go too high with your output in the beginning. If you're starting at 30% body fat, just by setting out on a dieting phase, you will see yourself dropping weight. Even if you're walking 10k steps and just in a calorie deficit without any formal cardio, you'll be okay. And that deficit, if you start at 30% body fat, don't push it any more than 500. You can always do that later. Your body will still drop off that in the beginning. So that honestly, like, I get people say I make it seem quite simple to get to the goal. It really, really can be if you just follow those steps. Like, don't let anyone across the internet make it sound hard that you can get from 30 to 10% body fat. It can absolutely be done with just good adherence over a 20-week period. So we said it, another check-in, and now sitting at 172. That's 30 pounds down since his first comment, and 73 pounds down since his heaviest. Fucking top effort, mate. Very, very good. Fallen off the strength training the past month, though, and I had been eating an extra 200 calories as a little break, but kept my steps up and the food quality up. Also, I'm at the stage where people say I look too thin, which I do look slim in clothes, but without clothes, you can see there's a fair bit of fat to lose yet. I plan on getting back to the gym and realistically cutting off another 20 pounds or 10 kg roughly. I'll keep you updated. One thing I would say to this guy in response to his comment is, when people think you look thin, you're going to need to go through that process. You'll go through the process where you even feel like you feel you're thin. A lot of the time, it's because the muscle is flat. If you've been in a calorie deficit for a long time, the muscle's not pushing against the skin, and there's not carbs inside the muscle to push against the skin, so you feel flat. However, you need to go through that process to get that body fat off. Once it's off and your house is ready, it's built on a solid foundation, then you go into a surplus, and you spend all year in a surplus because you got yourself to 10% body fat, so now you've got a long headway to push on into that calorie surplus. So well done to this guy. Really, really good job to see how well he's progressed from there. Tom, you sure you ain't related to Mike Thurston? You sound and look like him. Look like the natural version of him. No, I'm not. I'm actually not at all related to him. I think he's from Leeds and I'm from Lancashire, so other sides of the Pennines in the UK. I did actually sit across from him at dinner once in Dubai. Great guy, very humble in person. So whether you like him or not, like, he's generally quite a sound guy as he seems on camera. Can you help estimate my body fat? Yeah, absolutely. If you ever need me to, and I don't mind saying this now to you, if you ever want me to estimate your body fats, I will get round to it, but just send me a message on Instagram, photos, and I'll be able to tell you roughly where I see you're sat at. Here's a decent comment. So I'm trying to get from 15 to 10 to 12. I was way higher. It took me 6 months to lose 35 pounds, and I burned out, so I took a break. All I could think about was eating cookies and pizza. Started back up now, looking to drop 10 to 15 pounds. Well, good luck with that. Good luck with that, mate. There's 10 to 15 pounds is not that much to drop off, realistically. That's like 3 to 5 kg max. Let's see what else we got here. Another guy, yeah. Honestly, so the process, boys, of going from 20% to 10% body fat, find out your maintenance, sit yourself just below at 200 calories, run that. Don't start with any formal cardio just yet. Just start with 10,000 steps. When week one rolls around, if you've not dropped any scale weight, then add your 20 minutes of cardio. Week two, 30 minutes. And every time you don't see the scale weight drop off, then add your cardio. Get to 40 minutes, and by that point, you've then got a question, would it be better for me to increase my cardio or decrease food because of my routine? And if it's going to impede your routine drastically, and you know you're going to be needing to do this then for 8 further weeks, that's many days of doing 50, 60 minutes of cardio. So then maybe look to pull food first. You're going to need to push cardio eventually, but I'd look to pull from food and then from there go to pulling from fats. How long to get from... cool, we can like that one. Do your clients like this typically have muscle at the start? It honestly just depends. Some people come to me with absolutely zero, and in which case it's a longer process. I will be honest, if you are looking at your physique and thinking, I really have like no muscle and I'm like 23% body fat or so, the gym is so critical for you because your ability to build muscle makes it so much easier to pull off the body fat and easier for it to stay off. So I can't stress enough, like just because you feel like you're soft or fatter, don't think the gym is not important. Don't think just by dieting you're going to get there. Gym is absolutely everything. It's so critical you get in the gym and build some muscle. I like that. That's a good. He says, so what does joining the Gorilla Platoon mean? And honestly, what does it mean? It just means you are becoming the man you need to become. That essentially is the motto for the Gorilla Platoon. Becoming the man you need to become. The vehicle we use is getting you in shape. The main thing we want to do is, I just want you to walk around this earth believing you could do everything you set your mind to and that you live a life of certainty and contentment. That's the main thing the Gorilla Platoon stands for. Yep, and yeah, absolutely can help estimate your body fat. Okay, here we go. So here's some more comments to go through. I know you did a reverse diet a while back. Can you explain how to reduce cardio transitioning from fat loss to a bulk? If you worked your way to say 40 to 50 minutes daily, do you just cut that back or zero as well as increase calories? Great question. So the way I would do that, let's say you finish the dieting phase, you're 500 calories in a deficit, you're at 50 minutes of daily cardio, and then you want to transition into a bulk. During the reverse phase, first of all, bring your cardio down because it's going to give you a lot of time back. If you were at 40, 50 minutes, I'd be going straight to 30. And then the week after that, I'd be going to 20. I'd run at 20 minutes daily for 2 weeks. And then during that, I'd be adding 200 calories, still training, add another 200 calories until you're back to maintenance and you're running 20 minutes of cardio daily. Now, when you're in a gaining phase, I personally keep cardio in, but I reduce it to 60 minutes per week. So just 3 sessions of 20 minutes or just one session in general. I like it because it keeps appetite in a good space and it also keeps heart health in a good space. So that's how I would approach that. Transmission, can't wait to see his results. How about for someone who is an ectomorph, has been training for 3 years? Also, is it possible for me to do a mini cut and still build muscle if I'm in a small deficit and been training for 3 years? Scientifically, can you build muscle and lose some fat? Also, how would this be measured on the scales to make sure I don't lose muscle? And that's fear. No, I understand that. So I made a video saying, can you lose body fat and build muscle at the same time? And my response to that was, you can if you are an absolute brand new beginner, you can if you're very detrained, and you can if you're not got that much muscle to begin with and a high amount of body fat. Then absolutely you will build muscle. Like I've had guys where they've come to me and they've just didn't start with that much muscle at all, good amount of body fat, and obviously through the course of a 20-week transformation, you're going to build some muscle. In his niche example, he doesn't say what body fat he's starting at, but I would say if you're going to do a mini cut and you're anywhere from sub 20%, you're not really going to build any muscle. But the way you would truly know this is, how did your numbers go in the gym? Did they progress? Because if they progress, fresh air isn't moving that new extra load like muscle physically is, that because muscle moves load. So that's the way I would look at it from this. How do I approach this for an ectomorph? So this is the video of how to do a lean bulk as a beginner. This was off a client who, again, a viewer from the channel, brand spanking new to train, so he was able to grow quite nicely because he is a beginner. So he's asking me how I would do this if you've been training for 3 years, and the answer to that is get you to 8 to 10% body fat, and then just solely focus on improving numbers in the gym. Make that your only mission. As long as your numbers in the gym are increasing, you're going to be building muscle. Now, you're going to need a surplus to achieve that, but don't do it like everyone else does, where they just send the food really, really high, because you're just going to get fat. Unless you truly train like a savage and you're using all of that food to its full extent, you're just going to get fat. So when do you actually add food? And realistically, you only need to be like a 200 calorie surplus. Add food when your scale weight hasn't moved for 2 weeks, when your appetite is actually up, and also, and the most important one is, your numbers in the gym have just stayed pretty much the same, or maybe even gone down a rep in some movements for 2 weeks straight. Then you have my blessing. Add another 200 calories, 50 grams of carbohydrates around the workout first, and then away from the workout second from that. And this was the guy. So yeah, you can always ask him how he'd been getting on as well. So this was a video we did on how to train with rings and dip bars. So if you don't have a gym, this is what I would say. This guy here asked about any equipment or with bands. Honestly, I would say just get yourself a TRX. Like, the amount of benefit you can have from a TRX is just so much better than just pure body weight. Cool. So we've got a question here. Are there any drawbacks to cutting body fat over a short period of time of, say, 6 months compared to a 12 months? So in the context, this video, this guy went from 35% to 10% body fat in, I would say, a fairly quick amount of time. It was 29 kg in 22 weeks. Absolutely rocketed off. Probably our best result, or the best voted result we had on Instagram. Is there any downsides to dropping body fat really quick? The only time it can be a little bit of an issue is the skin around the midsection, or specifically around the belly button. If you drop it quick, I have seen that it does stay a little bit soft and will take time to reduce. That said, I've not done it slowly with someone to see it as if it would go, like, you would look tighter at the end. I honestly wouldn't say there's benefit to trying to just drag it out of the long period of time. I would say go at the rate that you can honestly just commit to. Don't try and do it slow nor fast. Just simply set your slight deficit. As we spoke about, and again, if you're 35% body fat, don't need to start with formal cardio. You can start in a 500 calorie deficit. You'll be able to rinse that out for the longest period of time. Because, and not to be like rude or anything, if you start at 35% body fat, obviously that is quite fat, which means to get to that point, there must have been a fair amount of like overeating and abuse to the body. If you simply just go onto a clean diet, eating high protein, good amount of veggies, and you walk 10,000 steps a day and train 3 to 4 times a week, you will lose a shit ton of weight. You'll get from 35% to like 27% with like just by blinking, and you'll be there. So I wouldn't really concern yourself with dropping it fast or slow. But then as you start to slow down, then make the changes, then add the formal cardio, then increase the formal cardio, then start to pull from food. I would just go at the pace that you can honestly commit to, and don't worry about whether it's quicker or fatter. Might be a stupid question, apologies if it is. When people say oats, are they referring to porridge, or is that something different? That's a great question. Oats are made to make porridge, absolutely. But you can buy different ones. Some are like rolled oats, they're like thicker. I actually have those. And you can buy some that they come out like flour, and when you add water to that, it's literal cement. So perfect for dieting. So I think that is us, boys. Comments out complete. Everyone responded to and answered. Feel free to ask any questions you have in the comments. And if you think it's necessary for me to do like a post where I ask your questions and then we respond to them that way, then just comment below on this video and I'll get that put out. But The principle is always the same for us on this channel. We're here to develop body recomposition, drop off body fat, build muscle at the same time, or as best as we possibly can at the same time. With this, what's the process? Establish our body fat to begin with, work out our scale weight, take the body fat off the scale weight. From there, add the lean level of scale weight, and then add our goal body fat percentage to it. That'll give you a certain scale weight. We know our original starting point. We know how many weeks it's going to be to get there because we're going to drop a kilogram per week. Then you can understand where you're sat at. Remember, if you're sat at 30% body fat, you can go into a 600 calorie deficit. If you're sat at 25%, you can go around the 400-500. And if you're 20% or just a touch leaner than that, then you can go at 200. Rinse, repeat. Push cardio first and keep food as high as we can for as long as we can to keep muscle fullness, gym floor performance. That way we can still give our chance, best possible chance of building body fat. Of building muscle and losing body fat. But thanks for your comments, always appreciated, and that's why I like to do these videos. I appreciate these videos are not very good for the algorithm at all, but they're good for the people that decide to invest in and watch the channel. So appreciate that, and we will see you in the next video.